Welcome to the IELTS Listening Lab. Listen, practice, improve, and succeed.
You will hear a conversation between a woman booking a community kitchen and a booking clerk. You now have some time to look at questions 1 to 10.
Hello, I'm calling to inquire about booking one of your community kitchen spaces for a private cooking workshop.
Hello. I can certainly help you with that. We have several kitchen rooms available for community hire. Which specific room were you interested in booking?
I was advised that the Derwent room is the best fit for medium-sized groups.
Yes, that is a popular choice. Let me check my system. How do you spell that room name, just to make sure we are looking at the same one?
It is spelled Derwent.
Perfect, the Derwent room. It has excellent facilities. And what date were you looking to book?
I'm planning it for Thursday, October 14th. Wait, sorry, let me check that again. No, I need to correct that. My calendar says the Friday is the actual date we scheduled. That would be Friday, the 15th of October.
Ah, yes. Let me see. Yes, the Derwent room is fully open on Friday, October 15th. What hours will you need it for?
We would like to run the session from 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. So, we will need the room for 3 hours in total.
That is fine. We allow booking in hourly increments, so 3 hours is perfect. And how many participants do you expect to attend?
We have capped the workshop size at 12 people.
Excellent. That fits comfortably within the room's maximum capacity of 15. I will need to take down your contact details to put this reservation in the system. Can I have your phone number, please?
Yes, of course. It is 07700900451. Oh, hold on, actually, I gave you my old office number. Let me check that again. My mobile is 07700900415.
No worries. I have noted down the contact number as 07700900415. Now, to secure the booking, we do require a refundable damage deposit. That will be £50.
That is fine. £50 is very reasonable. Do we need to bring our own materials, or is everything provided?
The kitchen is fully equipped with ovens and workspaces, but participants must bring their own aprons to wear during the class.
Okay, I will make sure to tell everyone to bring their own aprons. What about utensils?
We have basic pots, pans, and mixing bowls. However, for safety and insurance reasons, we do not provide knives, so you will need to bring those yourself if you require them.
Good to know. We will bring our own set of knives. Can I ask how you advertise these rooms? How did you first hear about us?
We post updates on our social media page, and we also leave some printed materials around town.
Actually, I saw a flyer in the local library last week, which is what prompted me to call.
Wonderful, it is great to know those are working. I have completed your booking now. Your unique door access code for that evening is 93821.
Let me just write that down. 93821. Got it. Thank you so much for your help.
You are very welcome. See you on the 15th.
This is the end of part 1. You will hear a talk by the coordinator of a local wildlife conservation project. You now have some time to look at questions 11 to 20.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to our annual volunteer information session. My name is Arthur, and I am the lead coordinator for the Greenwood Wildlife Trust. I want to start by thanking all of you for taking the time to come out tonight and learn more about how you can support our local environment. First, let me clarify our core mission. While many people think we are primarily set up to protect endangered bird species, or that we exist mostly to educate school children about nature, our main purpose is actually to restore local woodland habitats. By planting trees, clearing invasive plants, and managing undergrowth, we create healthy ecosystems that naturally support birds and all kinds of other wildlife. To give you a bit of history, the Greenwood Wildlife Trust was originally established back in 2002. We initially operated as a very small, informal group of neighbors. However, we grew quickly and eventually opened our public visitor center in 2008, following a major fundraising drive. Many of you have asked about our regular volunteering sessions. These are the backbone of our trust's work. I want to reassure you that these sessions do not require prior experience. Our experienced team leaders will teach you everything you need to know on site. For your information, our standard sessions run every Saturday, rather than on Wednesdays, and we keep working regardless of the weather, so they are never cancelled if it rains. For those of you who want to join our tree planting event next weekend, please make sure you wear heavy boots. The terrain is very muddy and uneven. You do not need to worry about safety glasses as we aren't clearing brush, and although it might be damp, we actually provide high-quality waterproof coats to all participants, so you don't need to purchase your own. We are often asked about age limits. Children and teenagers are highly welcome, but there are rules regarding supervision. Volunteers under 16 must be accompanied by a parent or guardian at all times. Therefore, the minimum age for unaccompanied volunteers is 16. If you are 18 or older, you can also sign up to lead sessions. Now, let's talk about some of the benefits of volunteering with us, as well as the registration process. We love helping our volunteers develop new practical skills. We provide regular, free weekend workshops on various conservation topics, and our next scheduled session will teach volunteers how to plant and maintain traditional hedges. This is a highly valued rural skill and very popular. We also believe that volunteering should be fun and social. To help everyone get to know each other, a monthly barbecue is held for all members at our visitor center gardens. It is a fantastic opportunity to relax and share stories after a hard day's work. Additionally, as a token of our appreciation, all registered volunteers receive a 10% discount on books at our visitor center shop. We have a great range of local field guides and wildlife identification books that you might find useful. If you are keen to get started, the registration process is very straightforward. All you need to do is go to our website and fill out the online form. It only takes about 5 minutes. Once we receive your details, we will send you a confirmation email. The final step is for you to attend an introductory meeting on Saturday morning at our office. This meeting gives you a chance to meet the team, look at our safety guidelines, and collect your volunteer badge. Thank you again for your interest, and I hope to see many of you out in the woods very soon.
This is the end of part 2. You will hear 2 university students discussing their research project with their academic tutor. You now have some time to look at questions 21 to 30. Hello, Michael, Emily. Come on in. I wanted to use this meeting to check on the progress of your joint research project on ocean-based renewable energy. How are things going?
Hello, Professor Davies. We're actually making decent progress. We've settled on our main case study, which is tidal energy.
Interesting. What made you choose tidal energy over other options like wave or offshore wind?
Well, we initially thought about offshore wind, but then we attended a seminar by a guest lecturer on marine power. His description of the predictable nature of ocean tides really inspired us to investigate tidal energy specifically.
Yes, and we realized that while wave energy has a lot of general articles written about it, there are some really interesting engineering developments in tidal systems right now that we wanted to explore.
Excellent. And how did you get on with your literature review? Were you able to find enough academic sources?
Yes, there's actually a lot of literature out there. But the main issue we faced was access. We found titles of several crucial papers in academic databases, but we couldn't get the full texts because they required a paid subscription. Our university library didn't have active subscriptions to those specific journals, and we couldn't afford the fees ourselves.
Yes, it was frustrating because the summaries looked incredibly relevant, but we had to work around them and rely on open access papers instead.
That is a common hurdle for students. You should always let me know if that happens, as I can often request articles through my department's academic networks. Now, how are you planning to collect your primary data?
Well, we originally thought about visiting a functional tidal plant on the coast, but the travel costs were simply too high. We also considered launching online surveys, but we worried we wouldn't get enough expert responses. So, instead, we have scheduled interviews with 3 industry experts who work at a marine engineering firm.
Yes, they've agreed to do video calls with us next week, which should give us some highly detailed insights.
That sounds like a solid plan. Have you drafted your methodology section yet?
Yes, we have a draft. We wanted to look at tidal energy development across several continents, comparing projects in Europe, North America, and Asia.
I see. My main concern with that is your scope is far too broad for a short-term paper. I strongly suggest you narrow down your focus to a single market, perhaps just looking at current projects within the UK. Otherwise, you won't have enough space to provide a deep analysis.
That makes a lot of sense. We'll adjust our methodology to focus purely on UK-based developments.
Good. Now, let's look at your schedule. You have a few key deadlines coming up. Your presentation to the class is scheduled for May 12th. The absolute final day to submit your finished project to the university registry is May 26th. However, I want to review your final draft exactly 1 week before that, which will be May 19th.
Right, so we must have the final draft ready for you by May 19th. We'll make sure to hit that target.
Perfect. Now, have you two discussed how you will divide the remaining project tasks?
Yes, we have discussed this. Michael, do you want to explain?
Sure. Regarding the writing, I will take responsibility for drafting the introductory section of our report, since I've already done most of the background reading.
Yes, and I'm quite comfortable with data analysis, so I've agreed to handle formatting the statistical charts based on our interview data.
For designing the survey questions we plan to use during our expert interviews, we decided that is something we must do together, so we can ensure the questions are balanced and cover all our research aims.
Exactly. And once the entire report is compiled, I don't mind doing the proofreading of the final draft to check for any spelling or grammatical errors before we submit it to you.
That would be a huge help. And finally, I will take charge of preparing the presentation slides for our talk on the 12th.
Yes, Michael is much better at slide design than I am, so I will let him handle that completely.
It sounds like you have a very fair and organized division of labor. Keep up the good work, and I look forward to seeing your draft next month. This is the end of part 3. You will hear a university lecture about the history and environmental importance of the cork oak tree. You now have some time to look at questions 31 to 40. Good morning, everyone. In today's lecture, we are going to explore the environmental and economic significance of a unique and ancient tree species, the cork oak, known scientifically as Quercus suber. Let us begin with its distribution and physical properties. The cork oak is primarily native to the Mediterranean region, thrives in dry, sandy soils, and is highly adapted to survive hot summers with very little rainfall. It can be found in large forest ecosystems in countries like Portugal, Spain, and parts of North Africa. What makes this tree particularly famous is its bark. The outer layer of the cork oak is made up of a thick, spongy tissue. The cell walls of this tissue contain a high concentration of a natural, waxy substance called suberin. This substance makes the bark completely waterproof, highly elastic, and resistant to fire. Because of these unique qualities, cork has been harvested for thousands of years, most famously to seal wine bottles. But what makes the cork oak truly remarkable from an agricultural perspective is the harvesting process. Unlike almost every other tree species, stripping the bark does not actually kill the cork oak. When the outer bark is carefully peeled away, the tree survives and immediately begins to grow a new layer of cork to protect itself. This makes cork an incredibly sustainable and renewable resource. Let us look now at the harvesting cycle, which requires immense patience and skill. A cork oak tree cannot be harvested immediately. It must reach maturity first, and the very first harvest only takes place when the tree is approximately 25 years old. The cork obtained from this initial harvest is of low quality and cannot be used for bottle stoppers. Instead, it is typically ground down for industrial flooring. After this first harvest, the tree must be left to recover. By law, subsequent harvests can only occur at intervals of at least 9 years, allowing the bark to regenerate to a usable thickness. The cork quality improves with each cycle, reaching its peak when the tree is around 50 years old. The work of harvesting is highly skilled. To prevent permanent damage to the delicate inner layer of the tree, which would stop the bark from regenerating and could kill the tree, the stripping process must be done entirely by hand. Workers use specialized handheld axes to slice through the outer bark with extreme precision, avoiding any contact with the living trunk underneath. No machine has ever been invented that can match the precision of these skilled human workers. Now, let us consider the ecological importance of these cork oak forests, which are known locally as montados. These forests are vital hotspots for preserving the biodiversity of the region. They support a vast array of wildlife, including several endangered species such as the Iberian lynx and the imperial eagle. Without these forests, these species would face rapid extinction. Furthermore, cork oak forests provide critical protection against environmental disasters. Because the trees absorb and hold moisture in their leaves and branches, they help cool the local climate and act as a highly effective barrier against the spread of wildfires, which are a major threat in hot Mediterranean summers. Additionally, the soil and deep root systems of cork oak trees have a great capacity to absorb water. During periods of heavy seasonal rain, these root networks capture water rapidly, preventing soil erosion and significantly reducing the risk of sudden flash floods in surrounding areas. Finally, we must address the future outlook for these forests. Today, the cork industry faces major challenges. The rise of plastic stoppers and metal screw caps for wine bottles has reduced the global demand for natural cork. This economic shift is highly concerning. If the cork market continues to decline, landowners will no longer have a financial incentive to maintain these ancient forests. There is a real danger that they will clear the land and convert it for agriculture, such as intensive olive or eucalyptus farming. This conversion would destroy the complex ecosystem, lead to massive soil degradation, and wipe out the habitats of countless rare species. Therefore,
Supporting the natural cork industry is not just about preserving a traditional craft, but about protecting a vital environmental shield for the entire region.
This is the end of part 4.